Hello, amazing artists. Today is our animal alphabet challenge for the letter C. So I have lots of animals beginning with C here. Camel, cow, calf, cougar, crow, cobra, cat, and CH, chicken, and cheetah. So let's get started. This is a lot of animals. I'll start with the camel. Start with the biggest one and go to the easiest one, I guess. And hopefully we'll get to paint these two. Okay, remember we talked about tracing? Yeah, I think I'm gonna trace today. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. That's okay. I'm drawing very, very lightly because there are going to be mistakes when I use this technique, and I will need to fix them. And I just very, very, very lightly did the outline. I don't know if you can see that, but it did a pretty good job. So now I'm going to go in and make the rest. So the first sketch was my loosely going in, and now I'm going to go in with my more lines that are more sure. It's hard to draw and talk at the same time. I'm getting better at it since I teach. Camels are really interesting. The hemp doesn't actually store water. It actually has fat in it that stores energy for the camel to use when it can't eat or drink. I think the fat does have some water in it. Camel's feet are especially built for the sand. They are very big and very flat, so they can walk over the sand without sinking into it. If you've ever walked in snow, sand can be a lot like that. And if you see animals built for snowy regions, their feet are generally pretty flat too, although they generally have fur on the bottom of their feet to keep their feet warm. All right, there's our camel. Woohoo! Okay, let's go on to the next thing. Cow. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna trace these big ones, you guys. Except they're not super easy to do. Cows have a long history of helping mankind, from giving milk to being workers on the farm. I don't know that you can make a cow a pet, but I have heard some people do. I think a horse would probably be a better pet, but you never know. Okay. When I was a girl, I went to my grandparents' farm and tried to ride a yearling heifer and was promptly thrown off in the mud. She was like, nope, not having that. All right, notice that I am fixing things. This was way too skinny here, so I fixed it. There's the jaw right here. Cows chew their food several times to help it digest, which is a little odd, but you know, whatever works for you. Drawing ears from the side can be difficult. All right, there we go. Let me just erase these guidelines. I'm gonna fix that eye. It's a little too high up. Get down here, there we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. Now my calf. And I'm gonna trace this in front of my cow. Yeah, we'll do that. Trace it Yeah, right by, you have to make sure when you're overlapping, it's not going to be too confusing. Baby calves are very, very cute. One summer we got to feed baby calves from bottles. And boy, were they hungry in the morning, and they would buck you with their head. Hurry up, feed us, feed us. When we came into the corral gate, they were so excited. And they would drink those bottles down, and their little eyes would just roll back in their heads. Like it was so good to have breakfast. That was fun. Although I'm sure my cousin that I was feeding the cows with at the time was like, yeah, this is a chore. This is not fun. You know, if you don't live on a farm, that kind of thing is fun. If you do live on a farm, you're used to doing lots of work. All right. Gonna erase some of these lines. There we go. Not too bad. Especially since I cheated by tracing. That's not really cheating. Let's do, I want to do my CH animals last. So I'm also going to do my cougar and my cheetah by tracing, but I don't think I'm going to trace my other animals. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I won't trace these guys. I'll just draw them. Oh, I should have started with the body, because look, my legs are going to touch the cow. Well, we just had that discussion when we were drawing that castle in my castle video about how you should do a sketch first and then do your details. That's what happens when you don't listen to your own advice. If there is one, well, maybe not one thing, if there's a couple things I hope you take away from these videos, because I do them a lot, is I hope you learn that it is okay and very natural and very normal to make mistakes. And that is how your brain learns. And the other thing I hope you take away from these videos is art is very rewarding, very fun. It can help reduce anxiety and stress. It can help you feel in charge of your life, empowered. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. All right, that got really close to the cow, but you know, we're gonna keep it. All right, now my cheetah. Maybe we should just stack them on top of each other. I think the cheetah is from the same mold as the cougar. I would probably bet on it. That doesn't mean if I draw it the same way, it's gonna look the same though. Because a lot of times I'll draw things twice and they won't look the same the second time. No, not too bad though. And again, I didn't follow my advice. I should have drawn the body first, the big part first, right, friends? Oh boy. It's been a long weekend. We've had to clear a whole lot more branches and do a lot of work. I swear, sometimes it's like we are on a farm. We don't have a farm. We live not in a really busy place, but it's relatively quiet. We have pets. Oh, gotta fix that. That's a little too big. But you know, we had the ice storm a few weeks ago, and boy, oh boy, we lost a lot of limbs. And they all have to be cut and stacked by the side of the road so they can be picked up. It's just a mess. All right, there we go. Okay, so now I have my cat to draw. And actually, cat is a member of this family with the cheetah and the cougar. Every animal on this page so far is a mammal. That means they have live babies. They do not lay eggs. lots of animals do lay eggs. They have live babies and they make milk for their babies. And they have fur or hair, and they are warm-blooded. That means their body temperature stays the same. It does not fluctuate. Cold-blooded animals have a body temperature that matches usually whatever temperature they're in outside. So if it's 100 degrees outside, they're like 100 degrees. Mammals, however, will keep the same temperature. Mammals are pretty amazing, I guess. We're mammals, so that makes us pretty amazing, I guess. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to some non-mammal friends. First of all, my cobra. This is about as far from a mammal as you can get. This is a cold-blooded animal. So you will oftentimes see snakes sunning themselves on rocks. Especially when it's colder outside, they'll come out and try to get warm on a rock to get their body temperature up so they can go eat. Cobras are not native to the United States. They're from much warmer climates. A lot of snakes kind of hibernate in the winter, I believe, kind of semi-hibernate. There's our cobra. Now we have members of the bird family. Oh, cobras lay eggs and they have scales, so they are reptiles. Birds have feathers. They don't all fly. Some of them do. The chicken does not fly. If it does fly, it's a very, very short distance. But birds all lay eggs. They do not make milk. They are warm-blooded, just like mammals, meaning that they keep their body temperature the same. So when it's cold outside, they need to go somewhere where it's warm so they don't freeze to death. They don't have fur, they have feathers. And they lay eggs. And I'm glad because I really like eggs. Okay, there's our chicken. That's a CH chicken. And here's our crow. Crows do fly. Supposedly, ravens and crows are very intelligent birds. Although I don't know, I haven't spent a lot of time with them. I'm not really a bird person, I'm more of a mammal person. Fluffy things. One of my aunts, I think she has lovebirds or finches. They're pretty cool to look at. All right. Crows remind me of fall and Halloween. There we go. So now I'm going to write each animal's name. And don't forget we're doing C today, letter C. So I have a chicken, chicken, a crow, a cobra, a cheetah, a cougar, a cat, and this looks like my Maddie cat. She's a black and white cat. I like black and white cats. A camel, a cow, and a calf, which is a baby cow. Okay, now it's time to add some color. Move my animals, open my paint box so you can see. Let me make sure that this is on the camera. I've got water and a paintbrush right over here. I'm going to start with my animals that I don't really need to mix for, but I don't really see any. I think I'm going to have to mix, well, not really the crow, it's black. So I'm going to get a little bit of black and do my crow just with the edge of my brush. Oh, and you know what, you guys? I totally forgot to use the good paper. So this is going to be, well, poopies. This is not going to look good. It's going to be all kinds of bleeding all over the paper. Darn it. Oh, well, that's okay. You know, we talked about making mistakes earlier, right? We'll just keep going. Okay, I'm going to paint my cobra. My cobra is actually a little bit lighter than this. I could have added some yellow to this green to lighten it up a little bit. My cheetah was not yellow, but not orange. So I'm gonna mix yellow and orange together. Get my orange activated a little bit. There we go. Okay, that looks like a pretty good cheetah color. And I will have to go back in later and do the spots because I didn't draw them. Well, usually I would have drawn them, but I just wasn't thinking and didn't do it. Okay, my cat has black spots, so I can go in, oops, that was purple. I can go in and take care of those real quick. I think that's it. Everything else is kind of that rosy brown that we mixed last time with the buffaloes and everything, so let's work on that. So I'm gonna get my brown. I made that in the middle here. I don't know if you can see it. I need to mix plenty of this because a lot of my animals are this color. I'm gonna start with my cows. They're the darkest. I'm just gonna add a tiny little bit of red. I gotta get my red activated first. Oh, that was a little too much. Let's see if it works. No, I need a little bit more brown. There we go. A little bit more brown. Okay. It's hard to tell sometimes what things are gonna look like. I'm gonna have to remember to use the better paper. I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, if you just use copy paper, which is what I'm using, and watercolor, it bleeds a lot. So if you'll get mom or dad or whoever buys stuff for you at the store, maybe grandma or grandpa, to get you cardstock, the watercolor won't bleed so much. It will look a whole lot better. Of course, you can buy watercolor paper. I'm not saying you can't. Watercolor paper ranges from pretty cheap, but still good, to incredibly expensive. The most expensive watercolor paper isn't even made out of trees, it's made from cotton. And it is a joy to paint on, but it's also anxiety producing as well because here you've bought this expensive, you know, $12 sheet of paper and don't mess up. Okay. All right, so that's probably my darkest color. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm gonna be working on probably the cougar next, I think. So I'm gonna add water to this to thin it down. Anytime you want your watercolor to be lighter, you're gonna add water. All right, cougar, see? That's just a little bit lighter. Now it's hard to tell because this paper is crummy. Once it dries, you'll be able to tell a little bit better. My camel is the lightest one. I might add a little bit of yellow to get that color. Art is all about layers, my friends. Not very much yellow, okay? Yeah, just a tiny bit. And I can almost not see that, so that's probably perfect. All right. It's not bad. It's really hard to tell on this paper because as I get the paper wet, it is showing my cutting mat underneath that's protecting my table, and that's blue. So it's actually kind of hard to tell what color this is going on as. I'm just gonna hope that it's okay. Hope that you guys won't mind. Because if you can't make a mistake, you cannot make anything, my friends. And art, especially at your age, should be all about fun. What can I do for fun? Okay, I think we're done, friends. And all with just a little 8-color paint palette there. You can do so much with that. There's our challenge for letter C. I hope to see you again next week. Hopefully I'll be done clearing branches and logs and limbs and whatnot out of my yard, and we'll have time to do a couple of these. And have fun making art this week. See you guys later. Bye.